All right. Not so awesome moment every week when we announce the power rankings, unless you're happy with where your team is. And Bills Mafia, very happy with me this week, Chris.
Yes, they are.
Because the Buffalo Bills, in my estimation, are the number one team right now in the NFL. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cardinals fans who are not happy with me right now, because the lone unbeaten team, logic would suggest, should be number one. But the Cardinals should have lost to the Vikings. They could have lost to the Jaguars. What I see in the Bills, and this gets directly to the question that was posed by @SellTheChargers, who have the Bills beaten? It's not who they've beaten. They've beaten NFL teams. They have dominated NFL teams. Since somehow falling flat on their faces against the Steelers, they have been dominant with 2 shutouts in an era where all the rules are slanted towards scoring points and gaining yards. They have suffocated both the Dolphins and the Texans, who remain in the NFL. The Bills are the only dominant team that I see right now, Chris.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I'm glad you did it. I wondered if you would make them one, or, that one loss would, dictate, okay, let me just put the Cardinals at number one ahead of them. But, I think to your point, like what you said, agreed with you there. And, hey, there is something, to having some money in the bank. Yeah, Buffalo's got a little more money in the bank. They were the number 2 seed in the AFC last year. They were 13-3. They're a little bit more of a proven commodity at this point. Yeah, the Cardinals definitely awesome and in this conversation, but I'm with you. I would have erred on putting the Bills number one. I would have. I think you said it right. I mean, what are they've outscored teams, what is it? 118-21 the last 3 weeks? That just doesn't happen in the NFL. That's insane. And you're right. The one loss they played, it was the opener against a really awesome defense, and they outplayed that team. They just kind of messed it up. So I'm with you all the way there. I do think they're the best team in football, and I think what's scary about Buffalo more than anything is I don't think their offense has really hit its groove yet. I really don't. That's where it'll be scary when Josh Allen and the passing game really start to take off. Right now, it's been a little choppy, but they still make plays because they got Josh Allen and a few other playmakers, and that defense is absolutely on fire. I mean, they are kicking some ass.
Cardinals at number 2, up from number 6. Bo in OC says probably won't happen, but admitted Bills-Cardinals Super Bowl would be a lot of fun to watch. Well, if it was anything like the regular season game last year that ended in the Hail Murray, hell yes, we would love to see Bills and Cardinals together. But, Chris, right now, what Super Bowl matchup do you want to see the most?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that I would love to see either Bills-Rams, Bills-Rams, Bills-Packers, or even what I did pick, which is Browns-Rams. I would love to see that as well. I'll throw those out there right now. Just from pure excitement, enjoyment, some of the storylines around it, I think those are the ones that jump out to me. Cardinals is up there too.
But, I don't know if the Cardinals can sustain it, but if they can, awesome.
Yeah.
Bills-Bucks is what I picked going into the season, so I have to root for that.
Yeah.
But I think the Bills-Bucks, Bills-Rams, Bills-Packers, Bills-Cardinals, any of those would be awesome. And don't go to sleep on the Chiefs. The Chiefs have their chance to take out the new Kings of the Hill this weekend when the Bills come to town because, just like the Ravens a few Sunday nights ago had to prove that they could beat the Chiefs, the Bills struggle with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
This is their chance. Even though they're the top dog right now, the Chiefs are their kryptonite, and could be that next week the Cardinals are number one or someone else. I could see the Cardinals lose to the 49ers. I could see the Bills lose to the Chiefs. I guess we would reinstall the Buccaneers then if they beat the Dolphins this weekend.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would understand that. And of course the Rams are still in the mix. I mean, that game is a little misleading on the scoreboard last weekend about Arizona. They blew some opportunities that they would like to have back, certainly. I'm not trying to take anything away from Arizona, but I think you said it right. And I think, hey, again, the way the Packers have looked really ever since week one and the way they're playing defense and just executing on the offensive side of the ball, I think they're in that conversation with some of those teams you mentioned as well.
The top 10, I'm happy with. I know some people don't like the fact that I have the Chargers ahead of the Cowboys. Shereen Williams is one of those because the Cowboys beat the Chargers. But I like what the Chargers are doing right now a little better than what the Cowboys are doing. Do you agree with that?
Well, I probably would have had the Cowboys. I probably would have had the Cowboys ahead of I probably would have had Cowboys, Chargers, Raiders, then Chiefs is probably how I would have done it. Man, I mean, in Carolina, I'd probably infuse them in there too. But either way, I got no issue with what your top 10 is really, other than, I think you are a little low on the Cowboys. The Cowboys, to me, with the defense, the way they create turnovers, and the offense with the way that they can be so balanced and beat you either way. So they can go, oh, you want to play pass defense? Fine, we're just going to bludgeon you in the run game. Oh, you want to come up and stop the run game? Okay, here we go, bombs away. And a little bit like we've seen the Chiefs in the past, when they get a little momentum and going on offense, man, can they score in a hurry. And that's what happened last weekend. It was kind of dull at first, but got a little momentum, got a turnover on defense, and all of a sudden you go, damn, they scored 4 straight touchdowns. 4 touchdowns in in 10 minutes of football play. And that's where they're dangerous, because they have that elite unit in the offense.
There are plenty of fans who are still confused and upset about the fact that the Ravens are at number 4. TJ Burns NC says the Ravens are a tough, well-coached team, but aren't they like one injury away from an utter collapse? Their O-line and DB depth have indeed been diminished by injuries, but they keep winning. They were impressive and dominant over the Denver Broncos. And hey, I got to keep it number 4. They have tied the 74-77 Steelers with 43 straight games with 100 or more rushing yards.
You're funny.
I mean, that's as meaningful as the power ranking, so I guess I should give that some meaning.
Yeah, definitely. That should put them over the top, definitely. The Ravens they're unreal. You say what you want, like them, dislike them. I think the one thing that you and I respect is their toughness, their ability to handle adversity. I mean, Wink Martindale, what he's done on the defensive side here the last few weeks with some of the injuries, very impressive. And, it's just never an easy game when you play Baltimore. They're going to compete to the very end. They're going to hit you to the very end. And I got no problem with where you put them. I don't know if I'd have them 4. I think I'd probably have the Rams and Packers ahead of them, but I get your thought.
The interesting question as it relates to the Raiders at number 9. They dropped 4 spots from number 5 after losing to the Chargers. It's Raiders 9, Chiefs 10. DGO81 says, regardless of the record, there's no world where the Raiders are better than the Chiefs. Would you really take Vegas over Kansas City if they played this week? Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, why?
The Raiders beat them in Kansas City last year.
Right. Didn't beat them, kind of dominated them. And the Chiefs had to play like a perfect game in the Sunday Night Football game later on in the year to beat them. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, if I remember correctly, had to go down the field with under 2 minutes to score a touchdown to win the football game. Yes. The way the Chiefs are playing, the way Mahomes has played up until last week, I mean, it's not that special. One of the worst defenses in football, constantly making mistakes on the offensive side of the ball. Mahomes won't stay in the pocket, even though he's got unbelievable pass protection. It's one of the Mahomes has been scarred by last year still. He's been scarred, and hopefully last week will finally get him back on track. But, man, when you watch Mahomes the first few weeks, he's floating around and he's moving himself into trouble and leaving plays on the field. He has not played like the best quarterback in football this year. Now, we'll see if last week kind of gets him back, in order. But, yeah, last week was the first time I went, wait, pocket's clean. All right. There's a reason you got a $700 million contract. Stand there and throw the damn heater and get it in there. And he did that. He's left a lot of plays. He's been very all over the place so far. So I'm with you. I have no problem with you putting there. I probably would bet on the Chiefs if they played the Raiders right now, but I don't think it's crazy that you have them a spot ahead of them.
The problem with the Raiders, as we discussed yesterday, down 14-0 to the Ravens, 14-0 to the Dolphins, 21-0 to the Chargers. You can't keep living like that. Will Do Jim on Twitter says the Raiders might be too high. Watch for a return to commitment to excrement. Long-suffering fan, but realistic. Look, I don't know, but if they could just iron out these issues that cause them to put themselves in a hole early, they could be dominant. Don't fall behind by 14 or 21, and you're going to win every single game. So I think that is an area where they can improve, as we discussed yesterday.
Definitely. And look, listen, context matters in these conversations. Think about the defense you just talked about, all of them. They're all awesome, all of them. The Dolphins are awesome on defense. The Ravens are awesome on defense. The Steelers are awesome on defense. The Chargers are real good on defense. I mean, they held the Cowboys to 17 points until a guy hit a 56-yard field goal to win the game. So, it's not that easy. The Raiders against this Kansas City Chiefs defense, the way it's playing right now, they will go up and down the field on the Chiefs, up and down the field. So people got to we're talking about 2021. This is not the 2019 Chiefs or the 2020 Chiefs to what we've seen right yet, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I don't think your logic is totally crazy there.
Chargers 3-1 at number 8, Raiders 3-1 at number 9, Chiefs 2-2 at number 10, Broncos 3-1 at number 17. And Derek Klingshirn asks the very important question that I hadn't considered until just now. Does this make the AFC West a great division and maybe even better than the NFC West? Team for team, top to bottom, right now.
I'm going to say no, but it's close. I'm going to say no a little bit like the same phrase I used earlier, just the fact of I think the NFC West has got a few more, a little more cash in the bank. You got Russell Wilson and two-time Super Bowl team there in Seattle who's been in the mix for the last 10 years. Of course, the Rams and McVay who are in the mix every year in the Super Bowl 3 years ago. The 49ers, really talented in the Super Bowl 2 years ago and with a 10-point lead against the Chiefs with 6 minutes left. So, the AFC West may be closing the gap, but I'm not going to put them ahead of the NFC West yet. No, I'm not.
Well, it was the AFC North and the NFC West at the start of the season. The fact that the Steelers have fallen apart so quickly, I think makes us say, at least me say, AFC West, the best division right now in that conference.
Yes, I'm with you there.
Better than the AFC North top to bottom.
Yeah, with you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.